Good morning, everyone. Buongiorno. Ciao bella. Okay, so let's sit nice and tall, and you're sitting in a comfortable position. And we talked about what parts we were going to work on, and it sounded like pretty much all around everything in the body, and also a little bit about energy. And so, as you're breathing in, I want you to see if you can connect with sensations in your body, right? So, some of us recognize I'm hyper, or I'm tired, or exhausted, but see as you're breathing what sensations you feel throughout your body. So, long, smooth breaths, not forcing any breath. And to the best of your ability, pulling that breath all the way down to your pelvic floor. And then as you breathe out, helping that air to move out of your body. And noticing how you feel, energy level, any aches or pains, any area of your body that you're not noticing at all. And then thinking about how you want to feel when we're done with practice today. And then on an inhale, reaching up towards the sky and exhaling those arms down to your sides. We're just going to do that a couple of times. Inhale up and exhale out. Now, we're going to inhale those arms up, add a little twist. So inhale is up, exhale, one hand comes behind you, the other hand comes forward. Inhale up, second side. And you can turn your head or keep it straight. You're doing what feels good in your body today. Continuing to breathe as you move. Inhale is up, exhale is down. All right, now next time you finish that second side, we're going to reach up towards the sky, and I just want you to pull up side to side. So a lot of times we do this when we're standing up, but feeling your butt on the ground as you're reaching side to side, seeing if you can stretch through your ribs and your side body. Long, smooth breaths. Beautiful. Now we're going to take those hands down onto our legs or on to the floor and make some nice big circles with our bodies. And of course, you're making the kind of circle that feels good in your body, eventually stopping and moving in the other direction. Noticing, I'm like, oh, interesting sensations in my hips as I move, and my shoulder where I just got a little shot. You too? Okay. And then we're going to pause and find your tennis balls. And if you don't have tennis balls, what we're going to do, we're going to do the connectors into the front of the pelvis. So if you don't have tennis balls or you don't like tennis balls, you're going to use your hands and see if you can feel right into that bone, into those connectors. And so if I use my hands, I'm moving kind of my fingers side to side. If I'm using the tennis ball, I'm going to roll front to back or side to side, right? And you can do two at the same time with tennis balls. You can do two at the same time with your hands. That feels good. But I just want you to notice those connections, because most of the parts that we talked about that you all wanted to work on today are connected in some way to the hamstrings, right? So just moving with your breath and noticing how it feels. And if you've never done this with your hands, you might try it with your hands. Then we're going to pause for a moment, and using your fingers now, go through the hamstrings. So the hamstrings, there are these four long muscles at the back of the thigh. And just kind of giving them permission to engage, to participate in what we're doing today. And then second side, Just noticing what is. Now, eventually we're gonna take those tennis balls out if you're using them, and you're gonna come to the sides of your pelvis, right? And again, if you don't have tennis balls, you can use your hand. So I am massaging the outside, kind of right in the center of the glute, butt. And for me, it's much less work for my hands when I use a tennis ball. And they might be sensitive. So as all of you know, as human beings, we hold a lot of pressure in our shoulder girdle, our pelvic girdle, and so just noticing what you feel, making sure you give both sides attention, even if one side is more demanding than the other. Still give both sides some attention. I feel like today I could do this for a very long time, but we're not going to. So we're gonna take out those tennis balls and let's make our way up onto, actually, let's come down onto our backs. All right, so you're gonna come onto your back, and if you have tennis balls, you're gonna have them close by because we might use them, we might not, and always thinking the safe way to get yourself down onto the floor. And then you might take your tennis balls and put them at the top of the shoulders, or again, you might take your elbows up towards the sky and massage the tops of your shoulders. And don't force anything. And remember that when we're using tennis balls, we stay away from the vertebrae of our spine, so you never put pressure in the tennis ball right onto your spine. Stay on the sides of the spine. And you might move through your arms a little bit, just noticing how the shoulders feel. Now, eventually, and again, I know like we could stay there the whole time, but eventually you're gonna take those tennis balls out, put them in a safe place. We're gonna have our feet about hip width apart, knees pointing up towards the sky, and I want you to just tilt through your pelvis. So the inhale, you're tilting the pubic bone up, exhale, tilt the pubic bone down. Your pelvis is staying on the floor. We're just pressing front to back, and you're breathing. Now, eventually we're gonna come to a place where we pause, and let's bring that right knee in towards the chest. You're gonna hold it in, relax your head on the ground if you can. Yeah, okay, now let's make some circles with that right knee. And just like we did with our body earlier, go a couple times in one direction and a couple times in the other direction. And eventually we'll take that right foot down and hug that left knee in towards your body. And don't worry, these body parts are gonna get a lot more attention. This is us just getting things warmed up. And again, we're gonna start to take that left knee in some circles, a few times in each direction. And again, we're gonna come to a place where we pause, and let's bring both knees in towards the chest. And again, holding them, squeezing them, taking them in a circle, whatever feels good in your low back. Now, we're going to come to a seated position, and you have a couple of options. Depending on your body, you can hold on to your legs and carefully bring yourself up into a seated position. You can roll to the side and use your hands, but you're going to get yourself up into a seated position. And we're going to have our knees bent, hands on your knees. So here, I want you to, on the exhale, you're going to round the back, chin towards the chest. Inhale, take those shoulders back and reach your chest forward. So it's like this, it is a seated cat-cow. And don't let that head drop behind you. right? Moving through your spine, but you're not dropping that head and back of you. Part of it is an energetic thing, and the other thing is that I'm not sure how all of those necks will feel with the weight of the head dropping behind you. All right, so from here, we're gonna make our way into a tabletop position, and you could have a blanket under your knees if that's something that helps you to feel a little bit better in this position. So making your way up into that tabletop position. Now again, you're gonna engage those lower abdominals, and we're gonna move our hips from side to side. And then you might scoop your hips down towards the ground. Remember, you're doing what feels good for you. You might just move side to side. You might add in some shoulder action or bending the elbows as you move. And if you're going in a circular motion, you're going to start to move in the other direction. And if this doesn't work for your wrists, you could be on your elbows. And if it doesn't work for your knees, you can absolutely do what we're doing on your back. All right, now we're going to stretch out that right leg, turn your toes under, reach your heel towards the ground, kind of pushing away with your hands a little bit as you do so, stretching through your calf, maybe your Achilles. You might even feel it all the way up into your hips or shoulders. Now, very carefully, you're going to find your balance. We're going to lift that leg up off the ground, bend your knee, and press that heel up towards the sky. Like you're trying to lift the ceiling tiles a little, pulsing or pumping, whatever word you want to use. Now we're going to press that foot up, and your head lifts up a little bit. Inhale's going to be here. Exhale, head towards the knee. Inhale, extend. Exhale, bring it in. Just moving at your own pace with your breath. No rush, not important if your head connects with your knee. And the next time that we exhale, let's bring that knee down to the ground. Shift your weight. And then we'll stretch that left leg back, turn your toes under, reach the heel towards the ground. So you're giving a nice little stretch to the back of the leg, you're breathing, you're checking in with your body. And again, very carefully, we're going to lift up that leg, bend through the knee, and press with the bottom of your foot towards the sky. Make sure that you're using your core to help hold you up here, not just all your weight into your hands. Continue to breathe. And again, we're going to pause for a moment. Inhale is going to be when our head and foot are pointing towards the sky. Exhale, head and the knee coming towards one another as we round through the back. Inhale up, exhale in. No rush, moving at the pace of your own breath. Just noticing as you're moving how it feels in your body. And again, next time we exhale, let's take that knee gently down to the ground. We're going to come on to our elbows. And for anybody, if this doesn't work on your elbows, absolutely come back up onto your hands. We're going to turn those toes under and come up into a modified down dog and pedal through your heels. Press down with those forearms, gently bending the knee. You're kind of, pushing through your feet as you bend the opposite knee. And then you're going to explore the possibility of keeping your left foot on the ground and reaching that right leg up. And you might bend your knee and take that heel towards your buttock. Just exploring. We'll carefully put that foot on the ground. Lift up that left leg. And again, stretch it up, bend the knee, heel towards your butt. And carefully bringing that foot down. Taking your knees gently onto the floor and bringing yourself up. All right, how's everybody doing? I'm just moving the video. You don't need to stand up. How's everybody doing? Still with me? All right. Too much, too fast? We're good. Okay. All right, so now you're gonna be kneeling. If that works for you, you could sit on your butt if this doesn't work for you, okay? I don't know why I'm struggling with this camera today. All right, here we go. All right, so, and I think most of you've done this before. Now you're gonna inhale one arm up, and it's gonna, I'll turn to the side, it's gonna reach back so you have a little bit of back bend happening. You're gonna turn your head away from the arm. That's your inhale, exhale, back to the center, arm comes down. Same side. Inhale up, head turns, away from the arm. Exhale down, head back to the center. Inhale, exhale. 2 more times. And you're, again, moving with your breath, so there's no rush at all, right? And when we come back down, we're gonna pause for a moment, notice how you feel, and then start with the second side. So the arm comes up, the head turns. As you inhale, as you exhale, the arm comes down, the head comes back to center. 2 more times. Beautiful. Now, we're going to, when you're done, roll through those shoulders just a few times. Inhale up, exhale. Slide those shoulder blades down your back. Feels kind of good, but you don't want to stop doing it. All right, now we're going to, and you might want to have a blanket under your knees. We're going to stretch out your right leg to the side. So now you're on your knee, and your right leg is coming out to the side. Your body is upright, and you might have a block on either side of you, and you don't have to use blocks. You could potentially come to the floor. All right, and you'll explore. You may have to adjust if you're using blocks or not. So the inhale's going to be up here. Exhale, you're going to take your hand down towards the floor or the block and reach your right arm in line with your ear. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, come down towards that right leg. Inhale up. Exhale down. And have that leg in line with your hips, right? And you're moving with your breath. I might stop and look at all of you as you're moving. Continue to breathe and move. And if your knee hurts, you're putting a blanket or something underneath it, folding up your mat. One more time. Now, the next time that we come to the left side and you have that arm extended, we're going to stay here, but you're going to keep breathing. Long, smooth breaths. Now, we're going to keep our body where it is. Inhale is going to be arm extended overhead. Exhale, you're going to bring that arm down. So the body is not moving, just your arm. Inhale, arm in line with the ear. Exhale, arm comes down to your side. Moving with your breath. One more time. Beautiful. Now, when you bring that arm down, we're going to carefully engage your core, lift your body up. Bring in your right knee. Stretch out your left leg. And it might feel a little bit differently. You're going to make sure that foot and leg are in line with your hip and your body. And you know, have your block set up. It might be different on this side. Inhale is up. Exhale, come on down to the right. Inhale up. And moving over towards the left leg. And there's no forcing it. You're just moving slowly with your breath. Noticing how you use your core when you come through the center, because you do need to do that to get yourself up. Long, smooth breaths. Now again, the next time that you come to the right side, We're going to pause there. You're going to continue to breathe. So I'm pressing this left foot in the ground as I'm stretching the left arm up. And again, we're going to inhale and exhale, moving with your breath. Inhale, exhale, just moving the arm. Your body is stationary, except for where you're pushing your foot into the mat, and you're moving through your body with your breath. And again, next time your arm comes down, you're going to carefully bring in that left foot. And then we're going to, and you might use blocks here, we're going to step that right foot forward. I'll turn to the side so that you can see what I'm doing. So I have my hands up on blocks. I have that right leg forward, maybe a slight bend in your knee if you're someone who hyperextends. And we're going to inhale, body up. So notice, I'm going to move with my body. Now, my head's going to follow my body, right? Inhale up, exhale forward. So I'm not dropping my head. I'm moving, I'm bending at the hips and leading with my heart. No forcing. Your foot is as flexed as it comfortably can be. Some of you might need to point your toe here depending on your hamstrings and calves, other things in your leg. Now next time you come up, let's step that right leg back, step the left leg forward. And again, knowing it could be very different on this side. Inhale, body up, exhale, maybe your body comes closer to the leg. And maybe there's very little movement here, right? Always it's an exploration and you're moving with your breath. So again, next time we come up, we're going to bend that left knee, take that foot flat on the ground, and let's come all the way up into a forward bend. Bringing your hands onto your legs. And we're going to inhale halfway up and exhale more deeply into your legs. And absolutely your knees can and should be bent a little bit here, because here again we're stretching through the back body, moving with our breath. And the next time that you inhale, let's slide all the way up. How's everybody doing? Now let's bring those hands to the heart center, and there's going to be a gentle pressure, hands pressing in towards the center and the thumb resting on your sternum, the breastbone. But you're going to have a little a little space between your palms as you gently press it. Now I want you to bring your weight into that left foot, and you're going to bring your weight into the left foot. Start to lift that right leg up and bend that knee. If you start to feel shaky, you're going to press your hands a little bit more. That foot's going to come down. Keep breathing. Find a non-moving spot on the floor to look at. Second side. Foot comes down. We're just going to do this slowly. Move from side to side, bringing your knee up, continuing to breathe. That's one of the keys here. Very nice. Now, next time we finish with the left foot, for most of us, that's our second one. We're going to bring it down to the ground. And then you're going to find your strap. Now, options, because you know I can't get through a class without giving you options. If you don't want to use the strap, you can use a bent leg and hold on to your leg. And if you have a super long strap, you might double it up like I'm going to, because this is like extra long strap. So we're going to take the strap on the padded part of the right foot and lift that leg up to hip height or wherever it's comfortable for you, but not higher than the hip. Arm out to the side, or grab onto the wall or the bar in the back. And you're going to open a little bit, come back to center. We worked on this last week. Right, opening and closing just a little bit. I realized not all of you were here last week. Okay. Now, when you get to the center this time, you're gonna switch hands. So now your right arm is extended, your left hand's on the strap, and you're gonna bring that leg across over the body and keep it there. Keep breathing. Focus. Come back to the center, and the foot's gonna come down. Very nice. Now, before we go anyplace else, you can hold that strap in your hand if you have one. You're gonna inhale up, exhale down into a little bit of a chair. Inhale up, exhale down, the feet stay flat on the ground. We're not going for the full chair, I just want you to move through your whole body, bring your breath and your focus back to your center. And when you come up next, we're gonna take that strap on the padded part of the left foot. And again, in your own time, starting to bring that left leg up, holding on with your left hand, maybe using the wall, carefully opening that leg out just a little bit, coming back to the center. Now, next time we come to the center, we're gonna switch hands. Woo! Good thing this case is back here. All right, and then you're gonna cross over the body. It's good that y'all weren't looking at me, because if you look at me and I wiggle, you're gonna wiggle. Keep breathing. Beautiful, let's come back to the center. Take your foot out of the strap. This time, let's inhale those arms up and exhale down into a chair. Now, when you're doing this, be sure to include your core. Inhale up, exhale down, let your hips, your ankles, your knees all bend. It's okay to stick your butt out a little bit, using your core. And the core doesn't mean just sucking in your belly. I think all of you know that, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Now, next time you come into your chair, we're gonna stay there. Bring your hands to your heart center. And then possibly come up onto your toes, lift those heels off the ground. Breathe and focus. Remember that. Just pulling up my pants a little bit so you can see my feet. Okay, keep breathing. On an exhale, we're going to take those heels down, hands onto your thighs, slide down to the ground, and then with your hands on the floor on a block, you're going to walk your hands over to the right, shift your hips over to the left, walk your hands to the side. On an inhale, come back through the center, and take your second side. And as you reach those hands to the left, you're shifting the hips to the right. So we get a nice little stretch in the outside of the hip. Let's do that one more time. When you're ready, walking the hands to the right, shifting the hips to the left. Coming through the center, and then shifting to the left. We're going to make our way through the center, hands onto your legs. Slide on up. If you have something on your mat, I'm going to invite you to move it off so that there's no falls or anything like that. And remember, you work in a way that works for you always. So we're going to start at the front of our mat. You're going to take a moment to connect with your breath, feel your feet on the ground. Then I want you to take your big toes down, little toes up towards the sky. Little toes down, big toes up. And just a couple times go back and forth, flipping big toes down, little toes down, exploring how your feet work. I always like to say we use our hands and feet differently in yoga than anywhere else in our life. All right, so from here, and you're going to use your hands how you want to, but I'm going to give you a suggestion. So we're going to start with our feet hip width apart. We're going to step back with that right foot into a nice deep lunge. And inhale is going to be elbows bent, pressing back. So the front knee is bent, the elbows are bent, your back leg is straight, your back foot, I'm up on my toes, but if you need to or want to, you can put that back foot down. So inhale's gonna be here, and usually you're breathing while I'm talking, of course. Exhale, straighten the arms and the leg. If that doesn't work for your arms, do something else. Inhale, exhale. And you might even picture, like I like to think, like energy coming in as I sweep my hands forward and straighten that leg. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. 2 more. Now, next time you're open, you're going to exhale, take your hands towards the ground, and that right hand is going to be on the floor on a block, left hand onto your thigh, belly towards the inner thigh. And then some of you will reach that left arm up, so hand on the ground, other hand. Yes, that way. Now, we're going to inhale, come back to a warrior one position, or a high lunge. Bring your hands to your heart center. And then we're going to twist again to that inner thigh. So you might take the right elbow to the outside of the knee. You might have your hands on your thigh. You might bring that right hand down to the ground. You find that place that works for you and breathe. Long, smooth breath, long spine. On an exhale, let's take those hands down to the ground. Your body turns towards the ground. Step that back foot forward. Hands onto your thighs, legs. Inhale, come up. Roll through those shoulders. Hands to your heart center. We're going to take a nice big step back with your left foot. And again, find your place here. The front knee is over the ankle. You're up on your toes, or the back foot is down. We're going to bring the arms out. Inhale, like a scarecrow. Exhale, extend the arms and the leg. Inhale, exhale. So beautiful. Moving at your own pace with your breath. No rush. Make sure that breath is flowing. And again, if you don't like these arms, you're doing what works for you. 2 more. We're going to pause with our scarecrow arms. Exhale, hands down to the ground. Left hand on the floor of the block. Right hand onto the thigh as you twist your belly towards that inner thigh. Maybe that right arm comes up towards the sky. And then we're going to carefully unwind. Reach both arms up towards the sky. Bring the hands to the heart center possibly. And then inhale, exhale, bring that left elbow to the outside of the right knee, pressing your hands back towards your heart center. Long, smooth breaths. Inhale, we're going to lengthen. Exhale, hands come to the ground. Step forward into your forward bend. Hands onto your legs. Let's inhale, slide on up. Roll through those shoulders. And let's come down to the ground into a squat. And you can have a blanket under your heels or a block under your bum, whatever works for you. Your knees and toes can be turned out or not. Hands towards your heart center or your forehead. Looking for a sense of comfort and ease so your breath can flow easily. There's no pain or discomfort. It's a great time to come back to your center. We're going to carefully bring ourselves down to the ground. Now, here, you might fold your mat in a little bit. I want your heels to be able to slide on the floor. Some of you might like to have socks on for this. I like my heels on the floor. So, lots of options here, okay? I'm and we'll start like kind of and work our way up, okay? So we're gonna start with hands behind us on the ground, body upright. Inhale's gonna be here. Exhale, you're just gonna slide your heels in. Inhale, straighten the legs. Exhale, lift. Okay, so that's one possibility. Another one, you're gonna bring those arms up. Inhale is here. Exhale, slide the heels in, bring your arms down, and it's okay if your body comes back a little bit. Inhale up, exhale down. Probably all see where this is going. Okay, next one, inhale here. Exhale, feet come off of the ground, eyes in line with your toes. Inhale, extend. Exhale, come in. Now, some of you might want to straighten your legs. I'm not doing that today, but some of you may. So now you're going to choose whichever one you want, and we're going to do it for a few times, right? So, and I'll go through variations in case you forgot. And if you are straightening your legs, I invite you to see if you can have your toes in line with your eyes instead of your feet overhead. It's very challenging. All right, breathing and moving, remembering your breath. All right, now, next time we come into our modified boat position, whatever that is for us, we're gonna hold the position, but keep breathing. So it's easier if you hold on to your legs or take your hands to the ground. Don't force anything, keep breathing. Beautiful. Now, we're gonna carefully take our feet down to the ground and then using your hands on your legs, we're gonna do it a little bit differently. So, inhale up, exhale, come back, hold on to those thighs. Inhale, use your hands to pull your body up. Exhale, come down. Inhale, pull up. Exhale, down. And you're moving with your breath, making sure there's no discomfort. Beautiful. We're going to do one more. Is everybody up for one more? So we're going to carefully get ourselves onto our back body, however that works for you. You might roll, you might come to your side, you might come all the way down. So some of you might like your legs extended, some of you might like your knees bent. Arms are going to be at the sides, and you can touch your legs or have your hands on the floor and have them out to the sides. Inhale is going to be down on the ground. Exhale, you're going to lift your head and shoulders up. So we're working through all the different levels of your core, right? And your spine. Inhale on the ground. Exhale, lift up, holding on to the legs or not. Sometimes it's nice to slide your hands up and down your thighs, making sure that you're breathing. And then this will be our last one. You're going to come down to the ground, bring those knees in towards your chest. Maybe some circles with the knees, or maybe you just want to hold on to them. And then very carefully, we're going to take the feet down to the ground one at a time. Knees are still bent. Arms are at your sides. And let's walk the ankles together so your feet and ankles are touching. And again, moving at your pace. The inhale is going to be arms come up overhead, knees open out to the sides, bottoms of the feet come together. Exhale, knees together, arms come down to the sides. Inhale, open, arms extend overhead. Exhale, arms come down, knees come back together. Again, moving at your own pace, noticing what's happening through your, from your feet, into your knees, into your hips, into your torso, into your shoulders. Now, next time those knees are open and the arms are overhead, we're going to pause here for a few breaths. If this does not work for your body, please bring your arms back to your sides or your knees together. Long, smooth breaths, seeing if you can invite your breath to help soften the body. in your time on an exhale, we're gonna bring those knees together, arms are gonna come down to the sides. This next position, you can have your feet on the floor or you can have your feet lifted so that your lower legs are parallel with the floor. Either way, we're gonna take the arms out to the sides. Inhale is gonna be knees to the center. Exhale, you're gonna take the knees in one direction, your head in the other. Inhale, back to the center. Exhale, second side. Now, if you're having your feet off the floor, move in a way that feels really good in your body. Your knees may or may not come down to the floor, not important. You may choose not to turn your head. You're going to do what feels right for you today. Now, when you finish on your second side, if you can remember what that was, we're going to pause for a moment in the center. Take your right foot to the ground. We're going to extend that left foot up towards the sky, and you might want to use your strap here. So our right knee is bent. The padded part of the left foot is in the strap, or you're holding on to your leg or your pant leg in some way. And we're going to pull that leg towards our body and then bend the knee. Okay, so now you're going to straighten the leg and then bend the knee towards your body. Inhale, extend. Exhale, bend towards your body. No forcing. Very nice. Now, we're going to carefully put that right foot into the strap, bend your left knee and put that foot on the floor. And again, carefully bringing your right leg towards your body. And then when you're ready, on an exhale, bending that knee. And then inhale, straightening the leg. Exhale, bringing the knee in towards the body. Two more times. Then very carefully removing that strap, taking that foot to the ground. We're going to roll over to the side and help yourself up with your hands. Here, I'm going to give you a couple of different options. You might take your blanket and make a little roll to put under your spine. You might use a bolster if you have one, right? Or you might use two blocks under your spine, okay? And if you're doing the blocks, it's really important that you get the right placement for your body, right? So I like the one under my head, a little bit higher than the other one. I think that works for most of us. Some of you might be at the second level if you're using the blocks. If you're using a bolster, you might elevate the bolster and put your butt on the floor. Okay, so if you're using the blocks, you're going to bring the low block right to the base of your ribs and then head onto the block, and it should be totally comfortable. If it's poking, you need to reposition your blocks. If you're using a bolster, you're going to have the bolster having the block elevating your bolster, put your butt on the floor, and then take your back down. And there should be no space in between your low back and the bolster. Now, important here is that you're comfortable. I'm going to come around for a second. All right. Can I help you with this? Yeah, I think that's a good idea. And then your legs are however you want them to be. Can you play around with this a little bit? Or what? Oh. So just, and like, the two I like is the base of the ribs, and your rib cage is good. Someday maybe. Yeah, I wasn't sure if you had oh, your ears in. Okay. All right, so get comfortable and relaxing. Your legs are in whatever position feels good for you today. Long, smooth breaths. Now, from here, some of you might choose to stay like this for your Shavasana. Many of you will want to change, especially if you have the blocks underneath you. So again, in your own time, when and if you're ready, getting yourself into a completely comfortable position, and then allowing yourself to soften. Long, smooth breaths. As you settle in, inviting any thoughts or anything in your body that don't serve you to dissipate down into the earth. Krishna Ishayatishvarabhyam Samprapta Chakran Kana Pasyasaram Srinudnarangendrayata Samarpitasvam Shri Krishna Vayam Guru Vayamite Virode Kartike Mase Shatatara Kartodayam Yogacharyam Krishnamayam Guruvayamaham Bhaje Sri Guru Pyo Namaha Harihi Om. So in your own time, starting to bring your awareness back to your breath and your body, noticing how you're feeling and maybe thinking about how you wanted to feel when you're done with practice. Because it's in the morning, it's important that we make sure that our energy comes up so that, we don't spend our day, well, unless you want to, you can choose to lounge around all day. But for some of us, we might get stuck in that kind of drowsy feeling. So when you're ready, you can bring yourself up to a comfortable seated position. And we'll do a little breathing to help bring us up. And I think most of you have done this with me before. We're going to do a crown breathing on the inhale. So you're going to inhale a little bit, pause, inhale a little bit more, pause, inhale a little bit more, pause, and then exhale. If it doesn't work with the 3 pauses, just do 2 or just do 1. Okay? So, and I like to put my hand on my body as kind of a knowing, like my body knows I want to use my diaphragm when I am doing this. So whenever you're ready, exhale completely. Inhale, pause, inhale, pause, inhale completely. Make sure you fill your lungs, pause, and then exhale completely in your own time. Whenever you're ready, inhale, pause, inhale, pause, inhale completely. We want to get a full breath, and pause whenever you're done, and then exhale when you're ready. So there's no forcing here. In your own time, inhaling, pause, inhaling, pause, inhale completely, pause, and then exhale. And 2 more times in your own way, inhaling and pausing once or twice or 3 times, and exhaling completely. When you're done, let me know by having your hands down on your legs, and let's end with my 3 favorite sounds. Inhaling those arms up towards the sky, exhaling the sound Q to the heart. Inhaling the arms out, palms open, exhaling ah to the heart. Ah. And inhaling, scooping up from the ground the sound of Beautiful. And that chant that I did was a chant to my lineage, to my teacher, and it's kind of like thanking the line for the teachings that I share with you. And so just acknowledging that, my practice. So thank you for being here. Namaste.
Namaste.